want to feel the things that she felt. I need her now, but I can't have her. I don't know if she is even alive or not. Just then Dad entered his office and stared at me with anger-filled eyes. You will say yes to him, he snapped. I looked at him shocked. If you didn't reply him today with a yes, I promise you won't see tomorrow. He threatened, now leave. I don't know what's going on in his mind. Maybe he wants me to marry him so that he could get a hand on Aaron's money. After all, money is what he loves the most. I got up and went out of his office and back to my cubicle, still lost in my thoughts. I still don't have my phone with me, so I can't call Nadia or Dylan. Dylan must have been really worried since that day, but he was about to leave for California the next day. Maybe he went. I will have to call both of them when I reach home. For the rest of the day I just sat there with the file opened in front of me, not knowing even a word of it, lost in my thoughts of meeting Aaron again. What am I going to say to him? Dad has already threatened me to say yes, so I don't have much of a choice. Do I? As the clock struck 6, I picked up my bag hurriedly and went back home, hailing a cab. I thanked God for not making me meet Lahaina. Maybe she is not home yet and I'm not yet ready to confront her. Reaching my room, the first thing I did was check my phone. Gosh, it had 214 missed calls, 12 from Dad, 24 from Dylan and 178 from Aaron. I dialed Dylan's number but it went to voicemail, so I planned to call him later. Next I called Nadia but she didn't pick up even after 10 rings. I threw my phone on the bed with irritation and went to take a nice warm shower. I stood in front of the closet not being able to figure out what to wear. What does one wear when they have to go and talk of their wedding? After some time I finally decided to put on my favorite shirt and denims, along with a short denim jacket. I was applying some lipstick when the doorbell rang. As I descended the stairs, I saw Lahaina at the doorstep with a deadly look on her face. She took slow steps towards me till she was standing right in front of me. Lahaina opened her mouth to say something but stopped when Dad came along with Julia. Let your sister leave, Lahaina, or she'll be late, he said to her in an unusually sweet voice, whereas Julia snorted. Lahaina glared at him but kept mum. Remember what I told you, he said, looking towards me. I gave him a fearful nod and went out. A limousine was parked in front of our house and a man dressed perfectly in a formal suite took my hand and guided me to the car. The interior was beautiful. I have been always fascinated by cars. Even Dad had some nice ones but I never bothered to even touch them. He drove silently, stopping in front of a huge building. I got out and he again guided me inside. We directly moved to the lift where he swiped a card and took me to Aaron. Aaron smiled just as he saw me and moved towards me. Taking my hand in his, he whispered in my ear, "You look lovely, love." I blushed at his comment and he took me with him to sit on the couches in the big balcony of his penthouse. I gasped looking down at the New York City skyline. It was the most beautiful view. I didn't realize we were at this height. The sparkling of lights and cars in the night light. It was breathtaking. You liked it? Aaron said, standing close. It's wonderful, I whispered, not taking my eyes away from the city. So, now may I know why were you at your friend's place without your phone? James even informed Carter that he sent some people at your friend's place but got nothing. Aaron said, handing me a glass of golden liquid. Should I tell him the real reason? Will he laugh? Of course he will. That was really stupid of me to do it. Was it because you saw me with Lahaina? He asked, his eyes showing concern and care. I stood there silently, not able to say yes or even a no. He took my silence for a yes and came closer, cupping my cheeks. I'm sorry, Caroline. I never intended to hurt you. My dad was there too and he wanted me to be with that her. And I'm sorry to say this but she is clingy. Too clingy to be honest. He said genuinely. I know. I smiled at him, not wanting to talk of this topic further. Lahaina can be too irritating at times and I pity him for that day now. He smiled too and pecked my cheeks before taking me to the dining table. A man dressed in the chef's attire came and served our food. We chatted, laughed all the while and ate our dinner. After eating, we stood near the balcony, looking outside, in silence. It felt comfortable to just stand next to him. I thought how it will feel to be married to him. Finally, I asked him the one question which was haunting me from hours now. Why do you want to marry me? I asked, looking at his extremely handsome face. He stared at me for some time before closing the distance between us. Because I like you, Caroline. Like you more that I should really like someone. You are different from others. Beautiful, sensible and lively. I admire you for what you are, Caroline. For the person inside you who is ridiculously beautiful. I admit we have yet to know each other, but the more I get to know you, the more I'm drawn towards you. I don't exactly know what I feel for you, but I'm sure of one thing. I can never find someone better than you," he said, looking me straight in the eye, holding my hand in his large, warm ones. Hearing it all, I felt a warm feeling in my chest, and it was that moment I knew I will never regret marrying him. "So, will you marry me, Miss Marshall?" He said, smiling at me, and I nodded, with the widest grin spread on my face. He stepped 2 steps back, shoving his hands inside his pocket and taking out a velvet box. He opened it to reveal the most beautiful ring I ever saw. Taking it out of the box, he took my left hand in his before sliding the ring on the 4th finger. I looked in his eyes, which held admiration and respect, the thing I never saw in my family's eyes. His face moved closer to me, slowly, very slowly, as if giving me the opportunity to back out, but I didn't. I stood there, my legs pinned to the ground as he covered my mouth with his. "Hey there, lovelies. Well, I wanted to make a few things clear. Like, Aaron didn't go on his knees and proposed Caroline like all those cliché copyright sign scenes because they don't love each other yet. Or maybe that is what they think. They still haven't gone through the big realization yet. Caroline likes Aaron and thinks he is perfect for her because he treats her differently and nicely, unlike what she had experienced all her life, and of course she is attracted to him. And Aaron likes her too. Too much for his own comfort, but that doesn't mean it's love. Or maybe it is, but Aaron doesn't know that. They both have their own different reasons for this marriage, and so it was not that kind of proposal everyone expected. But the thing to be happy about is they are getting married. Yee. Love you guys. You all encourage me to write more and more by your wonderful comments. Have any question? Oh, you just have to ask Diaper Mill Blooming Rose 18. Chapter 19. A small little gift. I stood there rooted to the ground as Aaron moved his lips on mine. My heartbeat was racing as he tightened his grip around my waist and drew me closer to him, if that was even possible. At first the kiss was simple and sweet, but then it turned promising and passionate as Aaron explored my mouth. After God knows how long, he stopped and looked at me. I maintained my gaze on the ground, blushing hard. "You look damn cute when you blush," Aaron said and chuckled, holding my chin with his forefinger and thumb, making me look into his eyes. "I promise you won't regret this decision," he said, his face turning serious. "I know," I whispered, my face turning red. We sat on the couch as Aaron discussed about the arrangements and stuffs related to our wedding. I didn't say anything and just listened, or more like drooled over him. He is really very handsome. I had heard Lahaina and Nadia talk about his looks, but now I realize he is much more than what they say. Everything around him shouts perfection. How can someone so good looking choose me? Loving the view. He said teasingly, bringing me